Hi everyone, today I am in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and I am with Tony, and we're just going to take a walk around the historical area. So not really sure what we're going to see, but I thought I'd grab my camera and bring everybody along. So let's check out historic Bethlehem. So we're coming up on the Moravian Historic District. So Tony, I was already saying this kind of reminds me of Old City, Philadelphia. Like I'm thinking these, I guess they're homes, right? Oh, yeah, they look like they're probably from maybe the 18th century?
I would say probably.
Doesn't it kind of remind you of Old City, Philly?
It does. Look at that.
What is the sister's house?
Oh, that's the sister's house.
Gotta love these old stone buildings, right? I don't know what it is, but I love like little courthouses or little walkways or alleys behind some of these historical buildings. Love that old light fixture. Reminds me of, I think they used to call them like the Franklin lights in Philadelphia. I believe Benjamin Franklin designed those four glass panel lights. Could be wrong, but I believe that to be the case. You know, as I'm walking back here, we're checking out this beautiful building. I don't know, these might be apartments now. I'm really not sure what this is used for, so I want to be careful not to be filming inside somebody's window. So as you're noticing, you're probably noticing, this has a very 18th, 19th century look to it. And I just love areas like this. All right, so Old Chapel, the second place of worship, 1751 to 1806. Many noted people of the American Revolution heard early Moravian music and gospel. Prominent clergy were bishops Nitschmann and Spangelberg.
Erected in 1740.
What was?
I think this
Erected in
place,
1741. First place of worship. Yeah, I kind of read something like that around the corner.
But then,
So, is this the Moravian? Are these the Moravian?
yeah, I think so.
So Tony's back there talking. He's probably not coming out on this, but he believes this is German architecture because I believe the Moravians were German, correct? An old plaque there.
Diamond.
So it was erected in 1741. So this is what I was looking at, Tony. Look at this. No, look at this. But check out that, I guess is that a bell tower up there, Tony?
I don't see a bell.
It says 1803 up on the...
We're gonna get run over.
What do you call that, a lightning rod? Or like a weather vane?
Yeah, like a weather vane.
Okay, so the weather vane says 1803. The Brethren's House, built in 1748 by Moravians as a house for single men.
And that's part of the college campus.
Early industry center, bell foundry, silkworm culture, other crafts and trades. So how cool is this place? Vater und Mutter, Lieber und Mann, Haupt Junglings, vom Air Plan. So that is my best German. Not sure what I just read, but I'm assuming it's names. Maybe that was the people that owned a business in here at one time. So that is part of Moravian University. But I believe that building that we were just looking at was built in 1748. If you enjoy pre-revolutionary architecture, I think Bethlehem might be the place for you. So from what I was reading, somebody by the name of William Allen deeded 500 acres to the Moravian Church, and that led to the founding of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So that's the church as well. That's the old Moravian Church, Central Moravian Church. So it almost, so what we were looking at before with that weather vane.
1742, I don't know if that was built in 17.
It was organized in 1742, but we don't know if the church was actually built in 1742. Here I go again with the large trees. So in front of this tree, I'm gonna say that from what I was reading, only the Moravians initially were allowed to purchase land in this area, Tony.
You are here.
Okay, so I'm crossing the street now and there's some ruins with storyboards. So I'm thinking this is gonna be really cool. Maybe we should go down this way first.
Probably could.
All right, let's head down this way first. And then we'll come back up here. Yeah, and then by then you'll know exactly what that is. So it looks like they're setting up for something down there, possibly a wedding. Probably should get down there sooner than later so I can check all this out and not interrupt anybody. All right, so we're walking through a tunnel, I guess, to get down there. It takes it right down here. Look at this. I love the whole layout of this town. It's just really cool. It's cool how they keep all this history accessible. So we have a little creek over here, which I don't know what creek that is. Do you know what creek that is, Tony? Do you know what creek this is? Colonial Industrial Quarter. Check out this old place. So this was the old waterworks, according to this historical marker over here. 1754, water was pumped from a spring to a water tower that stood east of here. It then flowed by gravity to 5 cisterns or reservoirs. So I was reading a little bit online before I came out here. I believe Bethlehem was the first in North America to have their own waterworks, even before Philadelphia, and I know that goes back a ways as well. So as I'm checking out this creek, where there is a creek, there is usually an old mill site. So I'm guessing we're going to see something like that up here. So this log structure was a spring house. All right, now I'm checking this out. This was my prediction, was this is going to be some type. I said it was a grist mill, Tanny. I thought it was a grist mill. Tony just shouted across that it was a tannery, which makes sense as well. Built in 1743. And all of this was built by the Moravians. Okay, so this over here was a butchery. So much history that's been preserved here. It's awesome. It's almost overwhelming. The butchery's over here. Yeah. This is still part of the tannery. So this is an old mill stone. Well, why would you have millstones for a tannery? Is that a stupid question? Look at this.
Miller's house over there.
Look at this old stone just in the ground. Why would you have designed stonework in the ground like that?
Because you're fancy.
Because you're fancy.
Later on, they might.
Not sure what that. Maybe there was a little fire. I was wrong. That I referred to as a butchery was actually an old mill site. The butchery, which is pictured here, no longer stands, unfortunately. But this was the mill. There's people taking wedding photos in this area, so I gotta be really slick as far as how I move around. Don't want to get in any photos. I don't want to photobomb a wedding. So this is the dye house. Early Bethlehem dyers used natural materials such as indigo. Okay, so this is where they made the dye. Let's look through here. I love this old stuff. And what we're looking at back here was, I guess, the mill. It says Lukenbach Mill, 1869. But this, I'm thinking, was probably prior to 1869. One of the old gears from the mill still laying here. Tony and I were just talking how we're really impressed with how much of this has been preserved. It's impressive for 1740s. So that was probably
The dyes.
oh, that's right, that was the dye.
That's the
And then this was the mill.
right, and that's part of the mill. That said Miller's house, so maybe he lived in that other part.
And then behind it, which I'm gonna try to walk back there without interrupting that wedding, is the house where the miller lived. The miller, I guess that would mean the person who ran or managed the mill. So this is where the miller lived, and it's private property, so we're not going to get too close to that, but it's definitely really pretty cool. So we'll head back up this way. Can we cut up those steps, or that's private property? I think that's private
I don't know if
property.
you can get through. You can go up to the thing on the other side, but then the doors say private property. I don't know if you can get through it.
I don't think, I mean, if that's their yard,
Right.
we probably shouldn't. So we will go this way.
Yeah. Go in and get a bite. I'm the photographer.
We're gonna sneak into the wedding. And here we have the Moravian Blacksmith shop. Tony, does it say when this was built?
You can ask this guy in here that's open.
Oh, so this we can actually go in. How cool is this inside a 19th century blacksmith shop? Maybe even a 18th century blacksmith shop.
So he gets it, and he starts rolling it. Now, he gets a little bit out, and all of a sudden, boom, behind that, roll it back up. So he's like, oh, rolls it back out, right? So he's standing there, he starts to roll it. Gets to here, bam, again. So he's like, rolls it back out. So he gets on it, he starts to roll, and now he lays on it. Now, he's caught.
So when I went into the Moravian blacksmith shop, I'm walking around, all of a sudden I hear Jen. And the man that was giving the tour, his name was Anthony, said that he watches the channel, so that actually made me feel really good. Okay, so I think Tony and I covered most of the old Moravian community, and I think I'm going to end my video here. So thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much, and you have a great weekend. Take care, everybody.